Page 106, a review. This is a review of Chapter 6. The answers are in the back of the book, and normally I wouldn't give a lesson on it, but we'll just go over things and talk about a few things just to make sure you understand. At the top of page 106, they want you to write the notes for the scales. And the A major scale, you have to put in the accidentals because they don't have anything in the key signature, so you put in the accidentals. The right hand is starting on an A here, so when you get to the C, you have to put in a sharp sound in front of the C. And the same thing for the F sharp and the G sharp, you got to put in those. And that left hand, same thing, you got to put in the C sharp. So you can write in the note. The whole notes are fine because there's no time signature, it doesn't matter, just whole notes up there. And the chords, you're going to do root positions. So you got the one chord here. And the 4 chord is 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Now, the right hand, you can bring this treble clef the notes down if you want here. So you're not using a bunch of ledger lines above the step. Bring it down here. So 1 chord down here. And then the 5 chord is just one more. Here. That's 5. Okay, so much for that. You can do that. Whole notes are fine, I'm sure. And then for C, letter C, they want you to write in the chord symbols for the chords. So the first chord they give you is this. Remember that's a 4 chord? Well, put it so it's every other note, so it's in root position. So if I put the A on top, I'm here. Now it's in root position. That's a D chord. And then the second measure is here. Well, that's already in root position. That's an A chord. And then the next one is here. Hopefully you know that's a 5/7 chord. So a couple ways of doing it. You can say it's a 5/7 chord in the key of A, and a 5/7 chord is an E7 chord. So you just put in the E7, or you turn it over so it's every other note. So I'll put the G on top, and then I put the D on top. Those notes, we're not using the B, but that's root position, so that would be an E7 chord. That's another way of looking at it. Different ways of seeing it. It's just easier in my mind if you think 1, 4, and 5/7. And the 1 is the A, the 4 is the D, and the 5/7 is the E7. D, they want you to match up the columns. So you find on the right side which of those equals 3 quarter notes with a 3 above it. That's a triplet, a quarter note triplet. So you look down here and they're rests. So which rest is the same as an 8th note triplet? And the answer is same as 2 8th notes, or a quarter rest would be the same. So the answer to number 1 is a quarter rest, which is B. Because that's the same as, in counting, it's the same as 2 8th notes. And an 8th note triplet is the same as 2 8th notes in counting. Anyway, number 2, that is a 16th note. It's got 2 flags. So it would be a 16th rest, would go to that. And look around, and that's F. Number 3 is a half note. Well, that'd be a half rest. That's a box above the line that sits on the line, and that would be A. Number 4 is a quarter note, so you find a quarter rest again. We've already had quarter rest for number 1. Well, we get it again here. That's B. Number 5 is 2 16th notes. So which rest equals 2 16th notes? Well, you could have 2 16th rests, or you could have an 8th rest. Either one will do it. And look over, and E is an 8th rest. I don't see 2 16th rests anywhere, so E. Number 6, 4 16th notes. Okay, you either need 4 16th rests, or you could have 2 8th rests, or you could have a quarter rest. Any of those is the same, counting-wise. And we look over, and which of those we have a quarter rest, and that's about it. So we'll use a quarter rest. B again. Number 7 is a dotted quarter note, which would be a dotted quarter rest. And that is D, is a dotted quarter rest. And then the last one is a whole note, and that would be the same as a whole rest. That's the box again, but this time it's below the line. And that would be letter C. Can get confusing sometimes when you have to figure out the counting value rather than exactly notes. Letter E, add bar lines to complete each measure. Well, in 3/4 time. So where's you count out 3 beats? Well, the 4 16th notes is 1 beat. A quarter note is another beat. Another quarter note is another beat. That's 3 beats. So you draw in a vertical line after the second quarter note. and then you get 2 16th notes and an 8th rest. That's the same as 4 16th notes, because an 8th rest is the same as 2 16th rests. Anyway, it's 1 beat, is what I'm getting at. And then a half note is 2 beats. That's 3 beats. So you draw in another vertical line after the half note. Then we have a triplet 8th notes. That's the same as 2 8th notes, or 1 beat. And then 2 quarter notes. That's 2 more beats. So you draw in another vertical line after the last quarter note. And then hopefully we got 3 beats left. And that's a half note and a quarter rest. That's 3 beats. We're good to go. So if it comes out at the end where the last measure has 3 beats in it, you know you did okay. If it doesn't, you got a mistake someplace. Letter F, they want you to circle the root of each inversion. So it's like the first one is here. We just put it so it's every other note. And there's 2 notes here, so I'm going to take that and put it down here. And so the D is the root. So they circled a D for you. But the same thing on all of these here. I'll put that on the bottom. Now it's every other note, sort of. And so the root would be the A, the top note. Next one is here. Again, put that on the bottom. Got that one. It looks like they're all first inversions. Well, in first inversion, the top note is the root, because what we did is we take the bottom note and over here, and that's first inversion. So the top note in first inversion is the root. Just circle it. Second line is the same thing. It's doesn't matter. I mean, it's treble clef, but the chords are all first inversion, so the top note's going to be the root. They want you to name each chord in a blank line, so it's like the first one was D minor. How do you know it's D minor? Well, first put it in root position, so here. And minor and major, remember the intervals. If it's a major third and minor third, it's major interval, or major triad. If it's a minor third and a major third, it's minor triad. This is a minor third and a major third, therefore it's a minor triad. It's D minor. That's what they did. This one here, put the A on the bottom, and that's a major triad, a major third and a minor third. So it is a major triad. So it would be A major, because the bottom note tells you what the name of it is, and then you have to figure out major or minor. Next one is here. We'll put the G on the bottom. And you go through and do them all. If you have any questions, let me know. The tricky one, as I see it, might be like number 7. Here, what is this? Well, put the F on the bottom. And what do we have here? Well, you have a minor triad and a major triad. Therefore, it is a minor triad. And F is the name of it because the bottom note identifies the triad in root position. So it is an F minor chord. Now, in identifying them, you have a choice in major triads. You can just put the capital letter of the triad. Like, if it's the third one, there's G major. On the first line, G major, you can just put a capital G. Or you could put a capital M after the G, either one, G major. On minor, you have to put the little m, lowercase m, after the letter. Then they want you to play the chord, so have fun doing that. And the fingering you use doesn't matter. You can use both hands to play them. It doesn't matter what it is. You're playing first inversion chords. Letter I. Write major, minor names of the key signatures. They give the first one for you. It's 1 flat. That is F major or D minor. I announce these on every video because you need to do the scales. I do scales according to key signature. So you would do the major and minor scale to that key signature. Eventually, you just learn it where you just know what the key signature is when you think of the scale. And that comes in handy in playing the pieces, because then you don't worry about key signature. You're just playing the notes in that scale. Second one is 1 sharp. Well, that's G major. So you'd do a G major, or what's the minor? You can go down a minor third, or 3 half steps here from the root. 1, 2, 3. Down a minor third, that tells you the minor. So in G major, E minor has got 1 sharp in it. That's how I do it a lot because I don't memorize the minor stuff. I know the major stuff, and I can quickly think of a minor third down from the major anytime I need to know the minor. So if it's G major, I just think minor third down, that's an E, so it's E minor. And the last one is no sharps or flats, which is C major. And if I go a minor third down from here, I get here, so it's A minor. So it's C major, A minor. Knowing the scale helps too. J, the relative minor scale begins with the what tone of the major scale? Relative, they are related by key signature. They have the same key signature. C major and A minor have the same key signature. So the relative minor, which is A minor, begins on which tone or which step of the C major. So if I can do that, which step of C major is this? It's an A. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the sixth step, or it's an A. It begins on the sixth step or the A. Not sure what they're after there. On the sixth, I think maybe it's the sixth tone, because the way the sentence is worded, it doesn't make sense to say on the A tone. I would say sixth. It's on the sixth. I go down a third because it's easier to count to 3 than it is to count to 6. But you could count up to 6. You could take the major scale and just go up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you've got it. But I prefer to go down 3. 1, 2, 3, and I'm there. Either way works. Letter K, write the names of the ledger lines and space notes. Oh, isn't this nice? Well, you just figure them out. Just, you know, one ledger line below treble clef is a C, middle C. So 2 has to be an A. So then you can figure them out from there. In my opinion, you should memorize all these notes. You should know them instantly. Look at number 5, way up there in the space. Well, it's 2 ledger lines. One ledger line is an A, and 2 is a C, and you need to know C. And that's just above it, so that would be a D. So you can do those. Let me know if you have questions. But again, the answer is in the back of the book. Letter I, what do these signs mean? Number 1 is a C, talking time signature. And that stands for common time or 4/4 time. Number 2 is a C with a line through it. That stands for cut time or 2/2 time.